Love notes, complete review, more information video description link below this video. Discover how this fat guy used a greasy cheeseburger wrapper to get this incredibly hot girl to be his girlfriend. Okay, so I'm sure you're wondering, how in the heck did this guy get this girl to be his girlfriend? The answer is really weird, but it's true. He made her fall in love with him. This guy, Randy, is using a new breakthrough I came up with, a simple technique you can use to make any woman fall in love with you. And when a woman falls in love with you, she becomes obsessed, addicted, she'll do anything for you. You can make her your girlfriend, wife, or just one of the girls you like to have sex with when you feel like it. You may be wondering how I know for certain that this will work for you. However, believe me, when you keep reading this short explanation, I'm going to prove that it works. In just a second, you're going to see for yourself how real guys use this technique on real girls, so you'll see, with your own eyes, just how this trick makes any woman you want sexually addicted to you. Okay, now what I'm about to show you triggers a woman's love chemicals, which will make her obsess over you. And for 99% of the women that will come crawling into your life when you use these notes, that's a good thing. However, there are some women that just can't handle all those feelings, and, well, it can make them a little crazy with passion. So I need to make a short disclaimer and tell you to use this information responsibly. This is Alana, my ex. At this moment she is flooding the servers that host the site with denial of service, DOS, attacks, and many guests have already emailed me saying they can't access this page. So if you can still see this, you're lucky, trust me, and this is something you need to remember. The notes that I'm about to give you make women fall madly in love with you. I used a note called the hobby horse on Alana. When you use the hobby horse on a girl, it rushes her brain with memories of arousal and sexually freedom, but that's also why it's so dangerous. Some women can't handle all those feelings, and they try to hide them away deep in their subconscious. If you use this powerful note on a woman like that, I used a note called the hobby horse on Alana. When you use the hobby horse on a girl, it rushes her brain with memories of arousal and sexually freedom, but that's also why it's so dangerous. Some women can't handle all those feelings, and they try to hide them away deep in their subconscious. If you use this powerful note on a woman like that, that said, you should keep reading because this page may get taken down at any time. Hi, I'm David Price. I've discovered a simple way to make any woman fall deeply, madly in love with you, so obsessed with you that she'll do almost anything you want, just by writing a few innocent words on a simple piece of paper. It could be a napkin, a post-it note, a ripped piece of your journal, the back of a Starbucks receipt, or even a text message. I call those digital notes. Once again, it doesn't matter. The point is, you can get that one girl that you've been wanting, really, any woman you want, by slipping her one of these proven notes. But first, I'm about to reveal a huge lie that a lot of these dating coaches have been telling you about how to make women want you. They tell you that, in order to make a woman obsessed you have to buy some magic trick, or say some special pickup line, or escalate, using some specific method. But the truth is, obsession, addiction, and love all come from the same part of a woman's brain. That's right, those feelings she has are just chemicals being triggered in her brain, and they all come from the same place. That means obsession, addiction, and love are basically the same thing. So you want to make a woman become addicted to you. It can happen instantly, when you know how to trigger it. Words. Since the beginning of the written language, words have been the one thing that always trigger a woman's love chemicals. Letters, Valentine's Day cards, even the notes you'd pass in grade school. Women love words. So after years of testing, I've come up with a few innocent words that are proven to flood her brain with these uncontrollable love chemicals. However, before I give them to you, let me show you what's happening in her brain when she reads one of these, and you'll understand that these notes are so powerful. First, when she reads the words on the note, norepinephrine spark feelings of happiness and excitement, her heart rate increases, and she begins to blush, because getting a note from a man is so different and new to her. She'll stuff it in her purse or pocket, so she can read it again later, and every time she reads it, new chemicals become released, so she becomes more and more obsessed with the thought of you. When dopamine gets released, levels of the stress hormone cortisol go down, which keeps the pleasure circuits in her brain happy. So now, her brain associates feeling happy and relaxed with you. Now this is where it gets really good. Oxytocin is then released, which is considered the cuddle hormone. This is the one that's going to have her strip down to her panties, on your bed, legs spread, begging you to take her. She can't help but need to feel you. And finally, her brain becomes low in serotonin. This is important because scientists have discovered that people with obsessive-compulsive disorder are known to be unusually low in serotonin. Obsessive, compulsive, disorder. So now you can see that the whole falling in love thing is really just her brain making her obsessed with you. Right now I'm going to give you the exact words to make women fall in love with you, but first, let me tell you a quick story about how I came to learn this trick. I wish I could forget, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I met Crystal at a bar I would go to after work, when I used to edit scripts for The Young and the Restless. Don't judge me, I needed the money. The bar wasn't even that close to the studio. I just got in the habit of going there to see her, whenever I knew she was working. Though I made really good money, drove a brand new BMW M3, and had a closet full of custom-tailored suits, I always struggled with women. I rarely got any numbers and almost never went on dates. I didn't have a clue how to talk to girls, and even just the thought of approaching them freaked me out. But I hit it off with Crystal right away. She'd always put her hand on my back whenever she took my order, and some nights when things were slow, we'd talk for hours. Her British accent was irresistible, and I'd just get lost staring into her beautiful blue eyes. When she told me she was moving back to London, I was devastated. She invited me to her going-away party, and after 7 shots of Jameson I finally had enough courage to ask for her info, so we could keep in touch. Before I left that night I gave Crystal a big hug, and she told me, if you're ever in London, you should come visit me. As soon as she left I started writing her letters, and sometimes she'd write me back. Pretty quickly I actually started sending her gifts, things like jewelry, lingerie, and teddy bears, stuff I thought women liked, and she would always tell me that I was the sweetest guy she ever met. It wasn't long before I started asking myself, what am I doing here unhappy and lonely, when I know the love of my life is someplace else? I couldn't stand another night alone, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. I quit my job, sold my car, got rid of my apartment, and bought a one-way ticket to London. When I arrived I rented a car, bought some flowers, and decided to head straight to her place. I hadn't told Crystal I was coming, because I wanted it to be a surprise. I was so excited to finally have a girl who really cared about me, to never have to deal with awkwardly trying to pick up women ever again, or endlessly texting girls that just lock you in the friend zone and waste all your time. No, she was different. This was special. Flowers in hand, I walked up to her place, and noticed her screen door was open. I called her name out, and heard her voice, so I walked in. As soon as I got to the hallway I could hear that she was in her room, but I couldn't make out what she was saying, so I opened the door, and there she was, Crystal, on her knees with some random dude's junk stuffed in her mouth. The image of her choking on him, while wearing that lacy pink Victoria's Secret lingerie I bought her, made me sick to my stomach. I don't know if it was bad timing, or the sheer surprise of me bursting into the room, but I walked in at the exact moment that he unloaded right there all over her. Crystal looked up at me with a mix of surprise and pure rage. The guy she was with lunged at me, all 200 pounds of him. With Crystal screaming at the top of her lungs, and this huge naked man charging at me, I dropped the flowers, and got the hell out of there. I ran straight to my rented Mini Cooper, and buried my face into the steering wheel. I knew my life had to change, but the truth is, I didn't even know where to begin. I had no job, no car, and no place to live, so I tucked my tail between my legs, and asked my little sister if I could crash on her couch until I got my life together. I felt like a loser. All I would do all day is send off my screenplays to movie studios and wait by the mailbox for the rejection letters. After about 3 months of this, I received a box in the mail. It wasn't from Fox Studios, it was from Crystal. I didn't even want to open it. Just looking at her name made me so embarrassed, but I had to know what was inside. When I opened it, the box was full of everything I'd ever bought her. All the jewelry, clothes, and gifts I'd sent, and a note. In it she wrote, when I packed all your things in this box, all I wanted was to forget everything about you, and just move on with my life. But I couldn't bear to part with the letters you'd written me, and it seems every day now I find myself reading over them again and again. Reading over your words, I can't stop thinking about you, and I think that maybe I made a mistake, and it's you that I should be with instead. More information, video description link below this video.